but my man could have taken himself to the wuzu khana and used the hand wash and the facilities free.
You know when you said you're praying behind him?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say the other issue.
Awra being exposed.
Bro, it's absolutely not. You know how that's worse.
It happened last night in the masjid as well. Bro, in Jummah, sorry. Bruv, this guy was showing more crack than Brixton, bruv. Literally, this guy is like, bro, listen, cover your things. You're in the house of Allah. Like, bro, seriously, customer, I wanted to say something to him as well, yeah. Like, what do you say to people like this?
Oh my God.
Right, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Okay, so check this out, guys, right? You've seen clips, you've seen long clips, you've seen podcasts. One of the things which I've been hit up on, right, is questions by people, comments from people as well. They ask me my opinion, say, what's my opinion on this? And under videos, they put a lot of questions. So basically, we thought, why don't we have a discussion on some of those comments, on some of those questions, which are general comments. So you see, the format is this. When it's a video, I'm talking. When it's a podcast, my guest talks. We're now looking at a format where we have a discussion on certain things, inshallah, which are more social issues. So let's see how this goes. I'm going to ask, we got Brother Nadeem here, mashallah, who's part of Youth Club, mashallah, a friend, someone who's involved in the da'wah, needs no introduction. He's been on, mashallah, the podcast twice, alhamdulillah. And we thought, let's crack off with this sort of format with the brother again, inshallah. So this is going to be a bit more of a talking discussion sort of format. And I'm going to ask Brother Nadeem a question, right? This is what someone said in relation to me. But before we let me say that again. Before we go on to that, firstly, Jazakallah for accepting, you get me?
Bro. You ask, I've got to come.
Yeah, no, it's all good, man. I would, like I said, I was trying to get Salman. What I would like to have is 4 of us, you get me?
Yeah.
You there, me there, Salman. Ideally, Asim, Majaz Bhai or Sayyid Bhai, just at least 4 of us, you get me?
We're doing this, now we should send the video to them.
Good idea.
That would entice them.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Definitely, I think that's a good idea. Yeah, exactly. Because what it is that obviously more people can get involved, the better, I think. I think it's just more sort of like... the more input. Plus, the brothers have good opinions. People don't want to
just listen to our voices. They want to.
No, exactly. They have good opinions as well, mashallah. You know, so all the brothers, when we had our class together, they would always bring something different. Yes. You got, mashallah, sort of Salman, who's alhamdulillah very analytical. Ajaz Bhai's got his more science background. Yes. And you got Sayyid, mashallah, who's been involved in a lot of street dawah. He's a bit more direct. Asim's a bit more calm, more into. So everyone's got their own sort of nuance. Yes. But anyway, bro, check this out. I did a video, and someone basically made a comment. This was the comment. He said, "You have no right giving da'wah if you're fat." Right?
Oh,
now check
wow.
It. Podcast, is it? Listen, bro, this is raw, yeah? There's no messing around. This is exactly the point. You have no right telling people, giving da'wah to people when you're fat.
Right.
Now,
I'm PHAT, yeah?
No. PH, as in, like fat things. I hear that.
That would be a real response.
Fat farm. Yeah. No, but this is so this was genuinely a comment. And you actually had people that liking the comment. They're like, yeah, we agree, you know,
oh my God.
Quote unquote, sheikh shouldn't be like that. Now, I've got my own opinion on that. Yeah. But if when you hear that comment, what's your instant sort of reaction to that?
Look, I think it's something we have to be humble about.
Yeah.
Because in Islam and in life, we should be looking after our wealth.
Yeah.
Amongst our practicing law, it is one of our weaknesses, you know, because...
wealth and also health.
Well, because as a practicing Muslim, you know, you were just talking about how people blame Maulvis and everything. Yeah. And a lot of it is untrue, but there are some truths, which is hard for us to accept. So when you're a practicing Muslim, we have a lot of weaknesses, and we might come across as all high and mighty. So if I give... I mean, these answers I'm trying to get from my own personal experience as well. I think it might maybe people relate. I need to lose weight. I need to improve that. I would say that my first reaction, intuition.
Sorry, bro. Keep that thought in mind about intuition. Check out what happened last night. I've got to add this in because you said I lose weight. Basically, I was sitting here, and we were just looking at, okay, where can we shoot this discussion? And then it was Ali's brother-in-law. He goes that, how tall is Brother Nadeem? I said, he's about the same height as me, roughly about the same size as me. Now, Hamza it was an instant reaction. He goes, he ain't that fat. Now, you see, that's unconscious. I don't know if he felt it afterwards. I didn't. And because the truth, but I thought it's an unconscious thing.
Yeah, fair
but when you said lose weight, I was going to say that, you need to lose a little bit. But obviously, I'm, mashallah, I'm like an ustad compared to you when it comes to losing weight. I got to really fix up.
No, look, but the thing is,
sorry, you were saying the intuition. Sorry, I had to check that
I would say, it's a bit like, so let me relate this when it comes to dawah, right?
Yeah.
People say you have no right to give dawah or engage in dawah when you don't have enough knowledge yourself, right? So it's very similar, I think. What we usually say to that, and as advised by our peers and ulama, is you should be seeking knowledge at the same time. But there's no such, when do you start? Like, for example, do you get to a certain style of knowledge, a certain date, a certain level, and then the best thing is seek knowledge and give that out. So the same with this, me and you, we can, alhamdulillah, say it really nicely that we're actually trying. If me and you are saying, do you know what? Forget that. Who cares? We're going to eat what we want. No, this modern liberal, it's thought about keeping weight and this. They've got this you have to have a certain image.
Body positivity.
But we can say no. We are keeping fit. Yeah. I bumped you to the gym the other day.
I was going to ask you the next question about
that. So the point is, we are trying. I'm not denying it. But at the same time, if I wasn't, so it depends where you're coming from now.
Yeah.
From a Sharia angle, we should Sharia is above all, right? Above everything. We're allowed to give dawah, even if we're overweight.
Yeah.
We're overweight. But at the same time, Islam teaches us to look after we have a right over our bodies. We should keep fit. The Sahaba were fit, subhanAllah, super fit. Man. So that's the way these are just my comments on it, that we, alhamdulillah, whoever brothers are watching this, that, he can be my witness, I can be your witness. I saw you at the gym.
Yeah, absolutely.
At any gym, absolutely. And he's there, mashallah, sweating away. So we are trying, alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
If we weren't trying, then we could be, I'll be like sheepish there, try and blag it. But no, alhamdulillah, we are. I've just to, for the sake of inspiration, I stopped eating sweet stuff. It's been nearly 10 days
like
now.
Sugar as well? Or like every knock on the head?
The only thing I'm doing is honey and coffee. Or date syrup.
Yeah, you need to make sure that the honey is obviously good quality, otherwise you can get some mad EEC mixture,
biscuits,
sugar
cakes,
blended madness.
After dessert, it doesn't exist now.
All right, cool.
Dessert's out the window.
How about fruit?
Fruit's apparently okay, but in proportion.
In proportion, If you're having very high
I'm like 10 bananas
fruits,
and 20, 30 sodas.
Other than getting a potassium overload, that is quite a heavy sugar rush as well. Yeah, I hear that. I mean, look, how I feel about this, I didn't take that comment defensively at all. I was like, no, you're spot on.
Yeah,
and I'll tell you when the realization hit me, subhanAllah, because I hadn't travelled for a number of years now, in an aircraft. And plus, obviously, because a lot of my clothes were tailor-made.
You went recently?
No, this was like when the first epiphany that happened, that I need to lose some weight.
Okay.
Look, when
where were you flying to, out of curiosity?
See?
Where were you going?
Alhamdulillah, with the grace of Allah, we were going to Umrah as a family.
Oh, Umrah, okay.
No, that's
all right,
that's another chapter, bro. But I haven't been there yet. But we're going to go
that. Okay, mashallah, Umrah. Okay.
Yeah, it's the Umrah thing, alhamdulillah, with the family. So what happened was, Allah forbid, right? I got to be real with you, and I have no qualms in saying this. Yeah. I literally got on the chair, rather sat in the chair, and then I had to push the button, like looking around. Is anyone watching? And I said, have you got a belt extender? Like, I could not fit in the belt.
And you said it very slowly to nobody.
Yeah, shut a minute. You get me? Like, first of all, I'm thinking, is there anybody else as fat as me? Firstly, and then what they're gonna think, and all these sorts of thoughts were going through my head. So what I eventually did was that I asked the lady, she bought it, and I had to put the belt extender on. But that hit me. I was like, subhanallah, like, have I let go of myself that much? Yeah. But you know what it was? One of the things that stopped me from going to the gym, or not stopped me, but I mentally was defeating myself, is because I had an occasion once, right, when I was in the gym, and I used to go to Maidenbower, bro. So that's out of the way, like out of the corner, Spindles, you get me? Like,
I was
the
corner. That's
right? Yeah. So I deliberately chose that gym over all others back in the days, right? This was even before quiet, no one knew me quiet. Who's going to go to that rundown out a corner gym? But then I see some geezer now my man walks in, I'm in the shower, astaghfirullah, look, I get it, some people are not dressed the appropriate way, but I'm just turning away, I bust lungi, get changed, so I'm doing everything Sharia compliant, you get me? He see me, goes, astaghfirullah, Maulana, you're here. Like, he was disgusted.
Damn you do, damn you don't.
Precisely that. And then I thought to myself, because I was an imam of the masjid, I thought, look, I've got, it comes with that sort of territory that people, whether I like it or not, people are going to look at every single thing I do. So it became a thing of, then there's going to be a potential. It was incorrect thinking, but there might be nuqsan to the deen. Someone might judge me incorrectly, or, log kya kahenge, what people are going to say. Eventually I thought, bun them, do you know what? And then when I did finally leave the masjid and I started doing a low-key, low-profile job, then this was when this sort of Umrah thing happened.
Okay.
But what happened is that the trigger was like literally not fitting into this belt, and I thought, do you know what? I've let myself go that much, and also the fear of what people are gonna say. Yeah. That I've allowed myself, and I didn't get on the scales up until that point. When I got back, I got on the scale, bro, it was 168 kilos, man. Yeah, it's just 168. I don't know what that is in stone. That's like 28, nearly the 30 stone mark. So what I did was, wallahi, I used to walk from Cherry Lane to Langley Green Shops and back. I swear I was limping on the way back. My back would hurt that much.
Oh, subhanallah.
I literally thought...
You're a young guy? You're not even...
I was more younger then. So this is the first time this actually happened was This is going back 2015. So this has been a long journey. First, I had to change my diet, and then it was light exercise.
I remember you as
no,
a 16-year-old.
No, sorry, I beg your pardon.
But I remember, I'm just thinking back to a 16-year-old and MPS. Do you remember?
I was always overweight, bro, my whole life.
No, but you were still
actually, that's a good point. No, how it works is, being younger, I was overweight.
Yeah.
In my teenage years, right, my mum bought me a weight set when I was about 14 years old. And I banged it out 2 years. And alhamdulillah, I lost all that sort of puppy fat and so on. And then,
do you know what, cheeky guy? I remember your cheekiness.
Alhamdulillah, we had our little, mashallah. One guy bumped into me recently. He goes, you was a player back in the days, and astaghfirullah. Anyway, old school vibes. But check out this now. When I got into, I don't know whether it's a religious sort of, and this is the discussion now. Being a religious environment, does it make you put on weight because of the people you're around? Bro, all our vice, look, it's not na'udhu billah, bunning zoots or having a drink or going out raving or shaving, yeah? Our vice is food. Now, for us, it's like, let's go out for a meal, let's go out for ice cream, because there are sort of vices. Well, halwa is also, I mean, it's sweet dishes, isn't it? Halwa is an old school thing. But unless you like it,
ice cream is the new halwa, isn't
it? Yeah, I hear that. Yeah. So I found myself, because I was involved with sort of religious circles before, it would be a case of where I would do certain activity, which sometimes, Allah forbid, wasn't so correct. I mean, I got some mad shady stories to share as well. Yeah. But when I got into the so-called religious sort of circles, then I found myself, subhanAllah, kind of putting in weight, because that was like the thing that everyone was associated with, i.e. food, drinking, you know, like you have your cups of teas, you have your coffees, you have your biscuits, you go around someone's house, they offer you a small pakoda with a chai. And then I found myself not controlling what I ate, and then that led to a long, prolonged period of me putting on weight. Adding to that was literally the sedentary style of being a quote-unquote a teacher and an imam of the masjid, where my whole life is sitting. And then there was the thing added on top of that was like, well, what are people going to say if they see me busting it out and working out in the gym? And I thought to myself, subhanAllah, no, I owe it. I mean, after all this period of time, when I got on the weight, when I gained the weight, I thought to myself, I owe it to myself now to fix up. So it wasn't an overnight thing. So what happened with myself was, right, is that it was a case of where I had this intention, I had this desire, but the first step first was just to alter my diet a little bit. There was still that bit, I was a little bit hesitant about going to the gym. I thought maybe if I improved my diet. So alhamdulillah, honest to God, no joke, right? I don't think I ever ate salad my entire life. I don't think I ever ate a tomato unless it was tomato sauce.
It's just not what we do.
Yeah, it's just not. I mean, it's just abnormal. Asian diets don't have that. And even though growing up like half English, the only healthy food I had when I lived with my mum was when, alhamdulillah, she would cook like vegetables. She'd have a pie or something like that. But there'd be vegetables there because it's part of the English diet. It's as soon as I got married, it's like chopoli kebabs and jakpata.
The only vegetable you'll have is onions, pyaz.
That is it. And also the occasional mooli if you're lucky. Sometimes. So the food is just so different.
Yeah.
And obviously I like the food, so I put on a lot of weight. But then you do that damage over a long period of time. I didn't jump on a scale. When I finally did, bro, 168 kilos. I got to show you this picture. And do you know, I might even put it up online so people can share. You'll see this and you'll see what I'm talking about. This picture, right, was something that someone took. And it was, the purpose of this photo was just to show me, like, you know, this was look.
Oh, subhanAllah, okay.
Like, literally, you can see, you get me, like, I'm bare, bro, for the stomach, like, my stomach's sticking, I look like a Michelin man. Look at the legs, bro. That wasn't muscle, that was fat.
And you know, but other one we say, mashallah.
Whoa, that's what they say, how do you need mashallah? Rizq.
Let the viewers know that the older's covered, just in case.
Yeah, the older's covered, of course.
Healthy. This guy's healthy.
Yeah.
That's the polite word.
And I'll show some other pictures afterward. That was me recently. So you see the difference? Now, don't get me wrong, I've only lost about 35 kilos since that time.
The bit difference in those pictures, in that old picture you're happy, here you look really moody.
No, because I just had a mad workout, you get me? So I was like, I'll come to that as well, actually. That's a good point about being upset when it comes to losing weight. So what happened for me now is that when I looked into the mirror in that picture there, I've literally just whacked it out. Our hard session in the gym.
I saw you.
You get me? I don't mess around, and literally I go in there, and I'm a massive extrovert by nature. But as soon as I go in that gym, headphones go on or earplugs go in, and I'm literally I go into a zone. I'm in a zone.
I know. And I felt it, and I thought let you get on with it because it's hard motivating yourself. But you know what the comment he said. I would say anybody, whether they're going to comment on you or other Maulvis or other brothers who are practicing overweight, do it nicely. Because I think they should have a bit of empathy as well. Because look, we're never going to be the super trim, bodybuilder type.
Why not?
Because this is my, again, maybe you can disagree.
Yeah.
Is like you said, practicing Muslims are studying and teaching and sitting and meetings long periods of time. They can't spend 8-9 hours at the gym every day to get to that level.
You don't need to though. You only need to.
But I'm talking about ultra trim.
Yeah.
I think
I think it's a calorie deficit. You just need a calorie deficit.
Just be healthy, slim-ish, whatever that means, but not like trim, super bodybuild, that kind of thing. But then again, there's what kind of smacks us in the face is people like Ziabai.
Yeah, mashallah, he's jacked, man.
Yeah, youth club. If you see him,
and Abu Saad as well.
Abu Saad.
Mashallah,
if you saw Ziabai before 2018, he was chubbier than me, right? But he went in hard. He stopped. He stopped. I think rice. So no more rice,
killer,
no more roti, bread, and no more sweet.
Else?
And he did for a good 2 years. And he went for
potatoes.
He went for that. You know that's something called strongman. He did the strongman thing for 2 years. And that's how he become mashallah. And now he's always covered, but when he takes his
you can see he had a couple of videos, and it shows him he's got like bench and stuff. He's on his thing. Alhamdulillah.
So that's part of our thing as well. Youth club, mind, body, and soul.
Yep.
So and this is from the Quran and Sunnah, but they are good examples. And and when we say we want to create role models worldwide, role models as in not just how you speak, but how you look as well.
Bro, you know that exact word you've just said, role model. That's what hit me.
Yes.
And that's what someone mentioned. The fact that the guy said you have no right giving da'wah, that's actually being silly. Because
of course,
if you see my beginning journey to now, you'd say, bruv, this geezer's on it. It's taken me some time. See, another thing for me, right, is that, let me go on to this role model thing, park that just for a second. Yes. It's not an overnight thing.
No.
I knew, right, that with my lifestyle, based on what I do, we travel a lot, we meet a lot of brothers and so on.
It's hard to make time.
It's really tough. So what I did was, I said minimum 6 days a week I'll try and go to the gym. Today I didn't go to the gym, but my missus goes, right, we're getting on the garden and we're doing the gardening.
Amazing. Bro,
so cool. So alhamdulillah, minimum hour I'm in there and I bang it out. But the truth is that my biggest vice up until now is still the food, you get me? It's the Asian diet, and it's when you go out. Now we're going out in this afternoon, we're linking up with someone in London. Now naturally he was...
And you're not going to have salad?
No. I think the only salad is going to be the tomato sauce. That's the only tomato. It's going to be more heavy barbecue and stuff.
It's almost like insulting not to have a proper bunch, isn't it? With
brothers? And that's why I factored that in. So Monday to Friday,
the brothers in Pakistan, they used to take the mick out of me. You know what? Yeah. I would suggest sandwiches. They would laugh.
Yeah, because that's like a more of an English thing, isn't it? They want a bratarol.
It has to be greasy. It has to be oily. Yeah,
subhanallah. But what I did is that I knew that I wouldn't be able to sustain 7 days. I would not be able to, because food has been always my biggest vice throughout my whole life. One thing I did do is that I do eat crisps. But before I would sit down with one of those big 150 gram
American style.
Now it's just a packet. Just keep or a bag rather. Limit it. Before I would sit down with biscuit packet. Trust me, I could smash the whole pack.
Especially when you're traveling, isn't it? Because that's when you...
But when we travel, ask the boys that I have like dried fruits.
I need to snack on something.
Snack, I'm saying.
4 hours, 5 hours drive.
But check out another thing, bro. I never used to drink water. No, crazy enough, right? My main thing, I used to just drink a lot of coffees. And now, alhamdulillah, I make sure I drink 2.5 litres of water. Like so far today, I've had only about just under a litre. But throughout the day, I'm minimum 2.5, 3.
On the food thing, have you consciously try to reduce it? It's
100%.
the hardest thing to do, isn't it?
What I did was I got a smaller plate firstly.
Okay.
Look, it's the whole Asian thing, right? Listen, when you go to around someone's house, they put the dongi in front of your face, bruv. You get me? So there's the chawal there, the salan there, the kebab there. It's just there, and you keep on eating. To an extent, when you say, "Oh, I'm really full," they say, "Tiga, just have one piece then."
Yes.
Ik piece there, level. You get me? Oh, I'm really full. I don't want
dessert.
Okay, just have one
if you don't eat while your stomach, they get offended.
Yeah, they literally expect you to eat till you're full.
We were fed once, whole like a feast.
Yeah.
And we were hurting. And they said, "This is just a starter."
Oh man.
And if you don't eat it, the uncle's gonna get very... What do you do? But so
I hear what you're saying, man.
So you worked at it over the time. You've actually reduced it.
Yeah. What I've done is that I if I'm losing even only 250 grams a week, half a pound.
So you're measuring it then?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Every week I jump on it.
It's a scientific thing. It's not
no, alhamdulillah, no, absolutely.
And don't get me wrong. Instead of 2 rotis, you'll have 1. That kind of thing.
Absolutely. Okay. But another thing is that I don't eat too late, so I've had to make some real lifestyle changes.
Same here. And what's your cutoff?
My cutoff is I do not. This is the latest. So I normally like to eat at 6, but if the latest, it will never, ever go beyond 8.
That's actually really good.
But I like, as soon as I come back from the madrasa teaching, 7:30. it's usually that time. And if I know it's going to be that late, I keep it light as well. I don't start hammering mad shovel. So what I generally tend to do is that for morning, this was another thing when I first started, because I had a lot of gut issues as well, constantly bloated and acid, you get me? So what I did is that I got, have you heard of kefir milk? Yeah, I think I've mentioned this before because you know what's coming. Kefir, but I ferment my own milk, so I make it myself.
Okay.
So it's really super good for the gut. So I have that first thing in the morning. Again, Monday to Friday is a must. Saturday, Sunday, I can be a bit relaxed. So yesterday I didn't have it. Today, I just had a little bit of an omelette, and I mean a little bit.
On the sweet stuff, have you reduced that?
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Reduced or stopped?
No, not stopped. So what happens is when it comes to sugar, I actually don't mind plain black coffee, right? But when it comes to latte, I need to have sugar in it. But then I don't, before I used to have like 3 in a cup, now I have like 1. But it's brown sugar. We don't have white sugar in our house anymore.
Okay.
So, and also when it comes to having a sweet urge, I have a lot of fruit and stuff.
Okay. Cakes, biscuits, chocolate.
Well...
Be honest,
on occasion, there are some things, cakes and stuff I like to avoid. You know,
well, I've stopped. I'm going to see how long I last. I'm going to keep going. And if I do go back to it, it's going to be like once a week or something, like a reward.
Yeah, that's it.
Because complete withdrawal is not good either.
No, that's not.
Because then apparently you will go back to psychology, you will go back to even worse.
It's like a relapse. It's like a cycle of addiction. It's like you have a maintenance period where, mashallah, you're doing really well, but then there's always the fear of relapse. So you need to reward yourself if that's what you consider as a reward. So what I did, like for example, the other day I was in madrasa teaching, and it just so happened that we opened up I was just giving the kids just some biscuits halfway, have a biscuit and stuff. So there was like shortbread. Shortbreads, bro.
Shortbread.
I like it simple. I don't like none of these. If I see too many E numbers, this phosphate, that thing, I'll lock it off. Especially if I see the word glucose syrup.
Right.
Because these things just spike your insulin. So you have to make proper lifestyle changes like that. So this is literally just wheat, flour, sugar, salt, 4 ingredients. No, wheat, flour. No, wheat is flour. What am I saying? Wheat, flour, sugar, salt, butter. 4 ingredients in these shortbreads. That's it. 33% butter. So they're not the most.
Dunk it in the chai.
I literally bite, drink a bit of coffee, and that's it. Yeah, I don't like dunking them there. That was the thing of the old school.
And the thing with shortbreads, it takes a long time for them to melt as well. But anyway.
Yeah, but okay, so you got the experience. Mashallah. So yeah, you know exactly the biscuit I'm talking about. So yeah, I felt temptation. So I thought, now before I could have easily smashed a packet. Let me just have 2. And it was about 4:30, and I thought, okay, cool. What I'll do is, because I've had that extra sugar, now I'll be mindful later on. I won't have nothing sweet or a bit of fruit. Because if I'm ever feeling hungry in the evening, I'll have a banana or something. But now I have to be extra mindful.
Okay.
One thing that did help me though, bro, on a level, and I could offer you, is that I did start using an app and I don't know if the whole issue of promoting apps, because and then YouTube and censoring and stuff, but I'll share the details with you afterwards. But it's an app which can track your calories, your macros, and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I literally. When I click a button, right, Kefir, it adds in, so 305 calories, this how many carbs, this how many protein, this how many fats, right?
All right.
Then, for example, I already know what I'm going to eat. I know I'm going to have 1 cup of coffee standard. It's just 100%. It's going to happen at least once. And then, for example, now lunch I'll have this, dinner I'll have this. So you can that way track your calories. So I've got like proportions or macros which I like to follow. Right. Yeah. Again, this is Monday to Friday.
Maybe I'll check it out. But I'll be honest, bro. What this sugar decision, which has been 10 days now.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people are motivated by different things.
Yep.
Mine was a bit of shock. So my wife, which she works for NHS, and she's seeing all these young, like not young, but I'm like 47 now, so alhamdulillah. So she's seeing people in their 40s just died.
Wow.
And some of the reasons are how would you call it? Their food choices, the lifestyle, the food, and a lot of it sugar and Coke and fizzy drinks and that kind of thing. So she goes, and then that, I don't know why it's clicked. I thought, you know what, that's it. That day, I thought, forget it, that's it.
That's
no
good,
more.
mashallah.
And before what I would do, okay, tomorrow, or procrastination, Monday I'll start. Maybe Tuesday, maybe after Ramadan. I said, no, now.
Yeah.
I heard this, now has to happen. So far so good. I need your du'as that I keep it up. The hardest thing is to keep strong on things.
It is, Yod.
21 days to make a habit, right, apparently. So
I'm on 10. Low-level habits, otherwise it can take up to 6 weeks.
And the hadith as well says, I don't know if you
the
can
stages
relate
of change. Yeah.
No, the continuous good deeds, but I don't know if you can class that as a good deed.
Okay.
It depends on the intention. So the best of these are those that are small but continuous.
Yeah, that's true.
Can we connect it here? I don't know.
Wallahu alam, Allah knows best.
Comment below.
Yeah, that's a good point. But look, it's like this. Yeah, I mean, make a little summary, not a summary. Make a little sort of strategy for yourself where you know what you're going to eat, but there has to be some rewards on the way. Now, I know for me, right, is that I need to have something sweet not all the time, but regularly.
Right.
So I just substitute it. Before it'd be like I'd happily eat a donut. Now I don't. I mean, and now do you know that sort of stuff? When you eat it, it's like I'm so not used to eating it that I don't like it now. You get me? It's just gooey and just it's not right. And then plus also because I'm not trying to say I've got a refined palate now, but I like to eat more quality foods, bro. You get me? So it's like now if you put in some cheap thing in your mouth, you know that it's not going to be quality. So although again, going back to the point about I know because we've gone off a bit of a tangent, but that's the whole point of this discussion. And there was another question that somebody asked as well. But that brother's comment, I did not get triggered because it's the reality. But now go back to that comment I said about a role model. That's what hit me because I feel being someone who's in a privileged position where alhamdulillah people do look up. Whether I don't like to admit this, and I don't like it. I like to be myself, but people are watching and people look up to us.
Yes.
And that's yourself, people in da'wah, because there's going to be some people that look at me and think, I don't like this guy. I just don't like him. Cool. If there's something unconscious going for you, maybe I remind you of someone in your past that bullied you at school. I don't know. Maybe I'm too loud for your liking. Maybe I'm half Gora. I'm half Pakistani. Whatever it is, bro, you're going to be triggered. That's all cool. I'm not here to score points. But then there are some people that do look up to me, and the issue is that then they will unconsciously start to model some of the things I do or I done.
Yeah, because you validate things.
Yeah. Okay. So, did you say validate things?
Validate, like so. It's okay to be overweight and
Okay, I did understand that right. You said the right thing
from that way. Yeah.
So it then gives people that he's okay. So and that's why I never talk about my sins that I've done in the past, even though you're not supposed to anyway. Even for educational purposes, the truth is, someone might say, "Well, if my man can change, I can change."
Yes.
Because Allah forbid, bro. I mean, we've done some stupid things in the past, and Allah keep hijab and that stuff. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, because you're a Sharif, yeah. You're a Sharif.
I had a couple of years of going towards, but alhamdulillah, I was. Allah saved me.
No, with the grace of Allah. Alhamdulillah. But now that role model thing, people look at me, they'll look up to me. So I think it's a responsibility that I need, not for other people, firstly for myself. Allah, this is an amana Allah gave me, right? Number one. Yes. Number two, I thought that another thing which is also a bit of a trigger is that, as you know, my youngest son is very much heavily dependent on me because he's in a wheelchair and so on. You get me? So I owe it to him as well to be better for myself so I can look after him. Yes. And obviously then there's the role model thing that, subhanAllah, people look at us and judge the deen. Maulvis are all fat. Yeah. When you think of Maulvi, you don't think of a skinny person, bro.
Islamic.
Yeah. When you think of Khalid bin Walid, you wouldn't think of him like it's literally sitting there with man boobs, stomach sticking out. You're like, Gordea tired because he can't walk. Nah, these were people that were tough. You get me? Now, let's not debate with the six packs and so on. We don't know anything about that. But what we knew now, these were rijal. Yes. And they could walk for days upon days and not tire. Ride horse for week upon week and not tire. They were literally like the ultra alpha of male. Yeah. And that doesn't come with being some lazy, sedentary, over-consuming, crying man. You get me? These were rijal. So I thought to myself, subhanallah, no man, I'm doing a disservice to the deen. So the brother completely had a point. All I would say is, although I wasn't triggered from that comment, I would just say that needs correcting. The correcting comes from it because you hit the nail on the head. From an Islamic point of view, if you like, there's the hadith of this effect, or qama qala riwayah, which I'll just summarize. That can you give da'wah, or are you allowed to give da'wah? This is the rule that's extrapolated from this hadith. Can you give da'wah if you don't have that thing in your life, but you are actively trying to pursue it, or you intend to? Yes. So the ruling is yes, you are allowed to give the da'wah. Yeah. So when I'm giving general da'wah, I might be talking about, for example, now improving life, abstaining from sin. I'm not, and this is another thing that unconsciously hit me. Someone actually said to me, "Oh, we need to talk about the Sahaba and battles and this and that." But unconsciously, I felt guilty, and I only realized this afterwards. The reason why I was avoiding these topics so much because I'll be talking about the Sahaba being men and going out, literally fighting and. Bro, I wasn't even taking myself to the gym. There's me, like Maulvi Sahab can't fit in his 5XL clothes, and then I'm giving people targheeb about Sahaba. It's such hypocrisy. So on an unconscious level, I think I avoided it all that time. Because I thought to myself that, what audacity do I have talking about Sahaba, saying that they were these men, and then here's me, right, who's struggling to fit into clothes. So then now I look back at that in retrospect, and I think why I ignored it all that time, because it was an uncomfortable thing. I thought, no, it's okay. I'll talk about this another time. Let me talk about something else. But now, if I be honest, I think plus, there was a lot of that.
There is that point of view as well that when you talk about something, let's say about this weight thing. So that comment, he could have made that comment for other speakers as well. Other scholars who are overweight. The thing is, I would still, if there's a scholar that's talking about weight and how the Sahaba were, and they keep talking about, but they're themselves not. What happens when you talk about it a lot, it will hit you at some point as well. I really believe in that. So
when you tell yourself something,
because you're talking about it, and that's because look, keeping fit. Having a regime is one of the most hardest thing to do. You really have to get motivation. Yeah. So you need motivation. Yeah. Some people different. They're motivated by different things. So for example, me, I would never class myself as student knowledge, nowhere near it. But the little bits of knowledge I'm doing is because of the dawah. The more I'm involved in dawah, it actually motivates me. So for example, if I'm speaking to a Christian and he comes out with a verse which I've not heard of, tafsir. Now I will go that night after that discussion and research it. Okay, so same with this. The more you talk about these issues, the more you, like you just said, your realization. I'm talking about Sahaba and how fit they were, and look at myself, and that's your motivation. That's the wrong. So I would never say do not talk about it. I think we both agree that we should never say don't talk about it. But the caveat is the scholar, the speaker, should make some sort of effort. Absolutely,
I agree, and I would like to see that personally. Now, alhamdulillah, thumma alhamdulillah. I'm not going to mention the name of the school because although there's nothing wrong going on here, I don't want anyone to take it or misunderstand this. But there is one, mashallah, school, Muslim school, alhamdulillah. And the principal was very keen on students to start getting more fit because he started noticing that, bro, listen, man, Maulvis are getting, just basically getting violated outside because of them being fat. So we're going to turn it around. Yes. So alhamdulillah, the school started, mashallah, optional. But they said, look, we want people to start doing more sort of, self-defense and MMA and these sorts of, they got a coach even. Mashallah. Now, alhamdulillah, the coach would come and he would train them and assist them.
When the brothers went, one of the sheikhs, I don't know if you mentioned or not, but
But listen, let me come back to my point anyway. So what they did is alhamdulillah, the students really took to this. They used to have their little football matches and that now, but now because they kitted out a whole dojo for the madrasa students, it was a beautiful way how students to connect with one another. Keep fit. Fast forward, what was the benefit and the outcome of that? Some students have gone on from there, mashallah, represented the school and even, mashallah, gone on one tournament. Proper, go with their thobe, everything. So they're not going there and that's what the coach said. The coach said, look, bro, listen, we want to go there. Look, alhamdulillah, because we're coming from an Islamic school, we want to be able to kind of represent and show that we can also take part in the activities and also share the culture of the sports. But we've also got our unique identity as well. So a lot of the students voluntarily they go now
it's
not mandatory.
They're going to become role models for
exactly that. So it's like that decision that was made that has mashallah future will have a positive thing.
Brilliant vision.
So now me, I'm not. Some people are motivated by different things. Exactly what you said. So you couldn't motivate me by saying, "Oh, you look more handsome." Yeah. Handsome for who? Yeah. I've already got a missus, you get me? Unless I'm looking for a second, I never say never, bro, but at the moment, nothing like that is on that. Yeah, I know. Astaghfirullah, but that's another subject, right? But I'm not trying to lose weight because I want people to like me. I want to impress somebody. Or maybe the girls will look at me and they'll get enticed. No, ridiculous. My main thing is that you got to have a clean intention because when you don't get that thing which you're after, then you start feeling like a loser. Yeah. So what I did was, my main thing, like I said, is that Allah gave me this body as an amana. Yes. Number two, my son, he's only getting older. He's gonna need more assistance from me. Yeah. And number three, that guilt, that Sahaba were the real men. Wow. And if we are so-called imams, Maulvi, sheikhs, da'is, well-wishers for the community, teachers, inspirers, motivators, then we need to imbibe some of those qualities that which we talk about, sing and praise. Yeah. So I thought, no, I'm gonna fix up on this. So that the target I set myself, literally what happened was, 2015, the diet started changing a little bit. I think it was around about the 2017 mark. That's when I proper started joining a gym. Okay, alhamdulillah, it went so good until COVID.
Since then you began. That's really good, bro.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. But since it was going strong until COVID.
Because you're going against the previous 15 years now, isn't it? Yeah. Piling on weight and now
absolutely
losing it.
Yeah. But the first thing, but the first thing was that diet change, and that was tough. You get me? Yeah. But I maintained that. But I realized I'm not losing weight because your body just gets used to burning a certain amount of calories and certain type of food. It was then the 2017, that's when I first officially joined the gym. Alhamdulillah, like I said, till COVID it went really strong. Excuse me. But COVID brought some mad dramas because everything was shut down, couldn't leave your house, and then unfortunately I then started getting into a few old habits again, i.e. overeating and so on.
If you're at home, you're not moving
all the time. And that was the only comfort and vice which I had, no interaction with people, so I kind of got into a bit of a habit. So you'll see on my app, it literally goes drops. up, but it doesn't go back where it normally was, but then it goes right now, drop, slowly, and now, alhamdulillah, with the grace of Allah, since COVID time till now, then I'm now 35 kilos lighter. So my purpose of sharing this story is that I don't get offended by those comments. You know, it's interesting because underneath that, someone then started defending me, and they started saying, you know, well, what if, you know, it's not his fault if he's overweight and so on. No. It's completely my fault. Let me take responsibility. I was just looking at the second question to see if we have time as well. The issue is, right, is that it's my fault. No one strapped me. Them chocolate biscuits didn't break into my room, tie my hands on and start shoving them in my mouth. I ate them.
Like that video for Ramadan. The guy falls over and the food goes...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's ridiculous. That's mad jokes. And he just there still chomping on the shawarma as he's saying.
And he asked the sheikh, what if I accidentally ate it?
Yeah, I accidentally, subhanallah. I'm sure that video is dubbed, man. But yeah, exactly that point. It does not come breaking down your door, shoving it. Bro, I put it in my mouth. So let me take some responsibility. I saw this thing, subhanAllah, and it was a little bit triggering. Interestingly, I mean, Allah works in mysterious ways, right? I mean, I was just watching this discussion that some people were having about body positivity and fat shaming and so on. One guy went as far as to say, I think we need to bring back fat shaming and shaming people to actually fix people up because it's getting ridiculous. I wouldn't go that extreme, but I would say we need to stop snowflaking people. Yeah. Oh, no, you're just... Someone goes, you're big boned. Yeah. Bro, there's big bone and then there's bloody dinosaur bone. Yeah, healthy. Exactly. There's any mashallah. This is set. Because it's not health. Set is not health. It's not healthy being fat. Because the reality is it's going to come with heart complications, diabetes, other issues. It's not healthy at all. What's healthy is where, subhanallah, actually mentions that in the Shama'il of Tirmidhi about the Prophet that his chest and his stomach was in line.
Subhanallah. Yes.
You know, they mentioned the sadr and button, exactly, sawat. They were exactly the same. Like, they weren't one sticking out or like, you know, not like that. Allah forbid, bruv, there was a time I couldn't even see my toes, bruv. It was mud. You get me? It's like,
I ain't seen your teeth for years.
Oh, this is the thing. Or, Allah rehm kare, but this is the point. Like, you be like, I let go of myself so far where it got that bad. You need these wake-up calls. And that's why, you know, people say, oh, no, you know, it's not his fault. No, it was 100% my fault. It was my fault. I chose to eat that. I chose to pick up that extra kebab. I chose to drink that latte. I chose to put 3 sugars in, not 2. I chose. If I say no other people's fault, this person's fault, we're going in that same snowflake. It's just blaming. No, they're at fault. Wallahi, I'm 100% at fault. In addition to that, I have the control in my hands, like, to make changes. Now, this geezer, like, I was watching on this thing, he was saying, well, it's not my fault I was fat, I used to be sad, food was my comfort. Bro, you used to pick up those donuts. Exactly the point. You felt bad, so you thought your avenue would be eating a donut. My thing now, when I'm stressed out, I go to the gym and I work even harder. So it's about tweaking. You're always going to have those ups and downs. Do I resort to a kebab or do I resort to picking up a few kilos? You know, literally at the gym and start working out. So I completely appreciate the people that are trying to defend me. And I actually made a comment and I just love my food. And can I be honest and just openly say, I love my food. I love my missus' cooking. Wallahi, my missus is a savage cook. I will happily eat anything she cooks, and I can overeat if I'm not careful. I have to be extremely, and even now, like, that's why what I do is that my routine is that
maybe that's every day. We need to tell our missus not to make so amazing food.
Well, no, that's another thing, bro. Keep on making the amazing food, man, and that's the thing.
You're compromising on that.
No. Before I got married, I don't care what people want to think. Qasam, no joke. Before I got married, I made sure I sampled dishes. I let the customer. I'm not even joking. It was done. I didn't tell them blatantly. We were in the house, and I was like saying to like my dad, get them to make food. I want to taste her food because, bro, if I'm going to be wedding a woman, she needs to learn how to cook. I don't care. Full stop. I'm not allowing my kids to eat beans on toast. Simple. I don't care. Any feminist, you want to get roasted, you want to get offended, I don't care. Wallahi, it doesn't make no difference. I'm looking at it for the longevity for my family. I don't want my kids eating microwave meals and pot noodles. They need home cooked foods. Secondly, in addition to that, I knew that my lifestyle is such as that due to the kind of the example, rather the call it the religiousness, you get me, of having man around you, and that was going to be carrying on in my life. I knew I needed to have a woman who would happily take the duties in the kitchen and say, yeah, let's feed people, let's look after people, and carry on that same routine. Because if I'm not getting that, and that's why, subhanallah, right? Look, I'm not here to, this is another discussion because actually there was something slightly linked to this conversation, so I won't go too much into that. But I will 100% say that we are in this zamana, this time now, where people expect us just to kind of tiptoe on eggshell over the issues because we don't want to offend people. It's okay to be honest. You're fat. And that's why, subhanallah, right? We just need a bit of honesty.
Yeah.
If someone's not like pulling weight, bro, you tell them you're not, look, bro. Things are looking a bit messy.
Yeah, but advise
But
nicely,
give it.
with
But
empathy,
it's got to come from the
compassion.
heart. You got to come from a place of genuineness. Now, one person, subhanallah, right? He actually made this funny joke where he laughed. He thought it was funny. But again, this is where I would say there wasn't much sincerity because he cracked a joke about it. Anyway, what happened was we went to a janaza. Someone laughed. They went, "What is that? When you die, who's gonna be able to pick up your janaza?"
Oh my god!
Like it was a joke for him. He thought it was a joke. Like that's not sincere. You're taking the
That's
mick,
a Crawley joke.
Yeah, you're taking the mick, bruv. You're not. If you came to me and said, "Look, please, look, Masha, you're our role model. Look, please, Wallah, you're coming from a place of beauty and sincerity. But my man thought he would just ridicule me and have a joke. Yeah. So that them sorts of things, it didn't hurt. I just thought that's stupidity. Like, what do you get out of saying a dumb comment like that? You get me? It's not like I'm going to be motivated by your silliness. But someone who comes up to me genuinely. So there have been some people. There was one person, mashallah. And I'm going to say it openly, Mufti Huzaifa. It was Mufti Huzaifa Sahib in Broadfield. I was around his house now. And he actually said to me, because I was saying to him, like, this what happened, I would like to lose weight. And he stuck it on me.
Beta?
And then he goes, no, because we're the same age. He said, me beta. He goes, so he goes to me, look, like, your body is an amana. Yeah. And it's like you're preaching to the preacher. I already know this, but sometimes you need to be told home truths. You get me? From someone who I trust and respect, and I admiration and also love for. Yeah. So then he goes to me, who's going to look after Yasin? And I was like, I didn't think of that. Yeah. My body's an amana. I always knew that. And that's why there was that guilt. Yeah. But who's going to look after my son now? Subhanallah.
Mic drop. Yeah.
Literally. Yeah. And I went home and I probably cried a little bit to myself. And I was like, it was a truth that just smacked me in the face. And alhamdulillah, I would say that was kindness. He did it in a beautiful way, but that's what I'm saying. That was kind. He was like, look, what are you saying, bro? Like, what's gonna happen to your kid? To get me?
And that came from wisdom, and that came from someone's practice. Yeah, it came from someone of ilm.
Ilm, but the thing is, it was sincere and love. You get me? Like he
only
does not
someone
gain
with
nothing
ilm
out
would
of
come out with that, bro. We have to.
Well, that's the thing, and that's all my advice would be to those people. Don't stop your nahyan and munkar, if you want to call it that. Yeah. Tell people, but there's got to be a way how you do it. Yeah. Now, on that similar note, bro, let me just say it like this.
Sure.
It's something related to this. Is because I mentioned something a clip some time ago. I was talking to the shabab on the lead up to, I think it was Ramadan or something. I can't remember. But anyway, there was a comment I made, and it was really, really frustrating for me because I'm judging that person by my own standards. I get that. I go to the masjid. I make sure I'm looking good. I smell good. I literally always bust a thobe or clean clothes. I like because I'm going to the house of Allah. You get me? Fragrance and cleanliness is a mandatory must. Yeah. Now, obviously, I prayed salah in front of someone. I mean, someone was in front of me, and Allahu Akbar, those feet, I swear, when I think about it now, it was just ruthless. There's some radioactive, literally some mash-up socks this person was wearing. And I thought to myself, bro, wallahi, all you needed to have done was take those off. Yeah. And the masjid provides soap, they provide there's no excuse for stinking feet in the masjid. So I was talking to the shabab. I made this comment. The video went out, and then subhanallah, it went actually quite viral. I know a lot of non-Muslims that came to me and said, "Oh, that video about the socks," and I was like, "Oh, subhanallah, that wasn't my maqsad wasn't to do our dirty laundry in public, but some people need to be told." Anyway, but why am I even mentioning this story? Because underneath, some people said that, you shouldn't be talking about this. Would you ever advise the person? Did you speak to that person? And the truth is, I didn't speak to them because I didn't know them. Now, how do you go to someone? Now, on this topic of speaking the haqq and not watering things down, telling people home truths, how do you actually tell someone? Like, how would I have gone to that person if I knew the person? Like, if I know somebody, for example, alhamdulillah, this has never happened, but someone who I'm rolling with or a friend with, I would say, look, bro, honestly, look, them socks are kind of stinking, bro. If you need to change them. When you come to the house of Allah, look, please, look at this, that. And I would come from a place like that, I would mention about how masjid is a place of sujood and, try and give some targhib and give some encouragement. Yeah. But if you don't know the person and yet them things are stinking, how would you go approach it then?
So it's a bit similar to the da'wah that we do to, Muslim youth and da'wah to non-Muslims, because da'wah and nasiha are very interlaying. It's very linked. I'm actually doing a session on advice tonight on Zoom as well, how to advise etiquettes. So I do a course which is called effective engagement with Muslim youth. It's like a course I've developed over the years. And in it, I've got a couple of things which I can quote which might help, which is something which I read. So there's a story of Hassan and Hussein. I don't know the reference, but I've read it sometimes. So apparently they saw an old man doing wudu.
Oh yeah, I know what's coming. Yeah, go on, carry on.
And they maybe you can narrate it better.
No, please, you carry on. I know.
Well, as far as I remember, he didn't do it properly the way it should be, sunnah. And then they stood next to and they said, "Oh, uncle," or something. Tell us, is this the way to correct wudu? Is this the right way? We're not sure. And then so he started doing it properly, and that way what they've done is advised him. And I call that. I don't know why
wisdom, man.
I call it reverse psychology or something. So and so so what we do is we use that in the dawah, and I think sisters use it very well. So if they see someone that's committing, I mean, this guy's not committing haram. Let's say it could lead to haram because cleanliness and that kind of thing, but it's not haram. But it's something that it needs to be told, right? So what you could do in this instance is say to this guy, "Sorry, bro, I know you know me, but there's a friend." Now the thing is, you can't lie. So you need to think of someone who's got a weakness. So let's say someone's got a hygiene issue. There's my cousin. He has onions before he comes, or garlic before he comes to the masjid, and I don't know how to say to him. What would you say to? Could you advise me how I can advise him? And then when the guy starts advising you, maybe you should take him to the side, maybe coffee, maybe. So while he's telling you, maybe he realizing actually I've got an issue myself. I don't know, maybe, but that's something I mean, I know there'd be a lot of questions over it. I'm saying it's not a foolproof, it's not a guaranteed way of doing things.
Yeah.
But sometimes you ask their advice of how to advise someone else, and you don't make it blatantly.
That's if they're aware of their issue, that would be a benefit. Otherwise, if he's oblivious, because that leads to another point.
But that's just one tip.
Because if my man knew that his feet were stinking, why did you still come to the masjid? That means you have no regard for other people and your stinking, crusty feet.
That was just, I just thought of that. But
no, I hear that.
I would say
it's a beautiful example of a story.
Yeah. My advice, I come from the school of thought that he needs to be spoken to, because your intention should be it's in his benefit. Because one day he doesn't want to run into that mad uncle, right? Or embarrassed. Imagine, because with Crawley or some of the towns, some uncles are out there, right? They go, like, especially when you say in Punjabi, it really stings you. And imagine someone saying, go on, but I don't know. Imagine saying that, and you realize it's you. How small you can feel. Imagine doing salah after salah, the exposure and the embarrassment. So your intention should be, I want to advise you in case you get badly embarrassed someday. I'm saving you, bro. I'm helping you out, man. That kind of thing. So there's some people say, leave it, none of your business. It's between him. At least he's praying, all that kind of thing. I'm at the school of thought.
Yeah, someone there's comments you'd be happy if someone came to the masjid. Yeah, cool. But my man could have taken himself to the wuzu khana and used the hand wash and the facilities free.
You know when you said you're praying behind him?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say the other issue.
Awra being exposed.
Bro, it's absolutely not. You know how that's worse.
It happened last night in the masjid as well. Bro, in Jummah, sorry. Bruv, this guy was showing more crack than Brixton, bruv. Literally, this guy is like, bro, listen, cover your things. You're in the house of Allah. Like, bro, seriously, I wanted to say something to him as well, yeah. Like, what do you say to people like this?
Oh my God.
Aadhi bund nikli, Astaghfirullah, like, come on, bro, can't you feel the ventilation? Bro, like, serious.
Bro, I don't know what it is. It's like brothers wear tracksuits. If you go a tracksuit, fine, but wear like a thobe over it or kameez.
Or even
everyone should have a kameez in their bag, bro. Everyone has a long shirt in their
or
bag.
even a vest and a t-shirt that covers it. Subhanallah, like, but you shouldn't be exposing your assets in the masjid. You get me? You know what I'm saying? Like, fix up. But
I thought you were going to say that when you said I was praying behind him, but
there was that. But it was just that because the thing is, the frustration. I don't know what come in his mind. But he took a step back as well.
Right.
To
have a smell.
But have you seen those people that actually do that when they're going into sajda? They actually take a little bit of a step back.
Yeah.
So as I was praying, the foot was really near my face, and I was just getting so angry that, bro. After the fathers, I had to just leave because I was getting really angry.
So this is serious now because it's affecting your salah.
Yeah, it was.
Salah, you're supposed to have full focus.
Yeah.
And if this guy's messing up, and remember, it's not just you now.
It's other people that
other
can be
people
affected.
as well. How many other people?
Look, I guarantee you that everywhere that geezer's feet was touched, they were stinking for some time.
Yeah.
So
I would advise him. I would take him aside. Definitely not in front of everyone.
Yeah,
definitely not the way some uncles say, "Oh, hey, why you not wearing topi or whatever."
Yeah.
That kind of thing. I would definitely take them aside and say, bro, look, so the way we do dawah is sometimes, like, let's say for someone's in a haram relationship, and a brother's being restored, I always start with compliments, right, to really soften the blow, yeah? So, by the way, very stylish looking guy, I think you got good swag and everything. Bro, mind nahi karna, and just that, that kind of thing, and advise him, Or another way is, you could make something up. For example, this is the tip I use. Today we're advising each other and getting advice. So I thought I'll have a chat with you.
Yeah.
I want to advise you something, and you want to advise me. Maybe you want to go first.
Yeah.
So that softens the blow as well.
Yeah, that's a good one. That can work.
Yeah.
But obviously, let's just say I haven't got rapport with this geezer. I don't know who he is. I've never met him. Because if I knew who he was,
you're worried about repercussions. You're worried about repercussions. What could go wrong? Who are you?
I don't want to offend the geezer.
Look at you.
It's like no, it's all cool.
Go lose weight.
That's all right. They can say all that. That's all right. It's more that I don't know the guy.
Yeah.
Last thing I want to do is I've never seen him before.
Is this a repeat offence though, as a one-off?
I've never seen the geezer before.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, if I knew him, if I knew who he was, I would have no qualms in saying, I would say, bro, look, you get me. I was praying salah behind you. Look, I said,
it is really personal.
And this is how I do. I'll do like a feedback sandwich. Positive, constructive, positive.
Yeah.
What I mean by constructive is telling them that your feet stink.
Yeah.
But positive, constructive feedback, positive. So I'd say, bro, mashallah, you come for Jummah, alhamdulillah, beautiful to see you. Akhi, I was praying salah behind you, but did you notice that, for me?
I guess what could go wrong is...
If you allow me to just finish on this, because someone might actually benefit from this nasiya. So positive in the beginning, I praise the action that comes from Jummah, spoke about the negative, but in a non-say, I'm not going to say to him, bro, your feet are stinking. And why are you coming to the masjid? No, I have no right in saying that.
No.
But I noticed this, and then positive, keep on coming, mashallah, see you next week, inshallah, may Allah reward you. That's positive, constructive. I'm not using the word negative here, constructive, because we're offering it as a constructive feedback. I have no right in being negative. I have no right in shouting, telling someone off. But I'm thinking along these lines that, bruv, this geezer, if I got affected, next man are going to be affected. So how do I advise him? If I've never met the guy, it was like this. I just ducked out anyway because I was furious. But in retrospect, someone asked that question, did you approach that person? And I didn't. And then it played on my mind and I thought, okay, and this is obviously the point of the discussion today, that how would I have gone about if I didn't know the brother? It's awkward. I don't know how
you're worried about repercussions because
and I'm worried
if it's someone who's never come to Salah,
you get me?
Yeah, this is the first time you come to pray Salah. And then by you advising, even the nicest man, he said, you know what? I went to the mosque. I just about motivated myself mosque after years. And so I've had bad stops. It's not haram, is it?
Yeah.
And my man, Molvi come, typical Molvi.
Exactly.
So that's repercussions. But I think it is a tricky one, but I would say this is why I use different tips. The other thing you could use if you want to, and depending on different situations, is you can say to them, look, I used to, so for example, the Salah thing. See, when I'm relating to how we do the dawah, right? So when it comes to Muslim youth dawah in Pakistan and UK, when we know someone's not praying Salah, we don't say, and I've got a little really funny video on that as well I made, which is, are you not praying or stuff like that. I say, there was a time when I didn't used to pray. I used to struggle to pray. But what helped me was this. Or you can think of a bad habit you had and how you overcome that. So you're showing that you're not superior and you've been through this.
Yeah, absolutely.
You could even say maybe there was a time when I wasn't caring about hygiene, or there's I didn't care about my then I read the hadith about garlic and stuff. But so I hope maybe you could just say that, or you can not even talk about his issue. You could talk about just general hygiene issues. When it comes to them,
are you talking about it from the mimbar now?
No, the guy, one-to-one.
Oh, right, okay.
You could remember as well. Yeah, of course you can. While he's there, of course
you
can.
To be honest, man, this is where I'd feel uncomfortable. I mean, I don't know if you...
No, general hygiene. You talk about general hygiene.
Yeah, if I was doing a bayan in the masjid, then cool, I would generally... Because that's the whole point. You mention things on the mimbar generically so people can relate to and then take a sabaq and nasiha and advice from you, get me? But it's like, this individual here, I'm not the imam of the mosque, I've also come to do my thing and duck out. So how would I advise him? What would I advise him? The truth
would you leave it or would you advise? That's the main thing.
Well, that's the thing. I was vexed, so I left, you get me?
Yeah, okay.
But the thing is, because I've never seen him before.
But it's affecting you, talk about it now.
Well, yeah, exactly. Because it was, true. What frustrates me...
You need closure on this, bro.
Yeah. I think what the frustration is that it's the lack of consideration for other people.
Yeah.
I think that's at the heart of it, because I like to consider myself as a considerate person. Like, if I'm thinking about the repercussions of telling someone to not hurt their feelings, to affect somebody due to my stinking feet,
to what you were saying just before about being a bit more...
I would be direct if I knew the person. If I've never seen them, and my only concern is not worried about speaking the truth and the repercussions. It's how Allah, how would this person, if I hurt his heart, if I upset him, there could be 101 things. I don't know what's going on.
And the grey area could be, is it haram what he's committing? That's the thing, isn't it? It's a grey area.
That's the thing is so from an Islamic point of view, from a Sharia point of view, best is that you physically do something if you can. If you can't, then try and change with your tongue. If you can't, then consider it a vice in your heart. So I've taken the lesser of two evils.
Okay.
But then there's also another thing. There was one individual once that came to the masjid, subhanallah, and he actually urinated in the masjid. Have you heard of this incident?
In the time of the Prophet.
Yeah, the time of the Prophet.
The Bedu, yes.
Yeah, so like a Bedouin. Yeah. And the Prophet, he actually
forbade them.
Bro, they were about to go wild. So he told them, got them to calm down, and then he brought the individual afterwards and explained that this is a place, house of Allah for sajda, for ibadah, and the hadith continues, like very beautiful nasiha. But he was so profoundly affected by his piece of advice. So, but it's because people have become so snowflakes. And people don't have that clean heart that even if I were to say to someone, brother, I've never met you.
The moment you say salam, they go, what's wrong with that socks?
Yeah, I don't know you, brother, but can I offer you a piece of... Maybe I think in retrospect...
It has to be alone, and we agree with that. One thing we agree on, if you are going to advise, it will not be in front of people, group of people, 100%,
friends. That's
it has to be completely, you look around, absolutely no recording device, nothing. That's it,
That's standard. And... If I was given the privilege of a minbar, I would talk generally about hygiene and the importance of hygiene, coming to the masjid, being courteous, cleanliness, and socks and all that.
And you give examples.
Yeah. But then, and I wouldn't say last week Jummah I was here because people say, bruh, my man was there. Him, he's the one. He was praying in front of him. So I wouldn't give examples like that. But what I would do is that when I say
examples, I say examples like make sure you got fresh.
Yeah, mithal. You give amthila and you give right. Okay, I thought you meant like talk about the
no.
Points.
Examples of like clothing. If you have a pair of socks, maybe wear fresh pair of socks.
I hear that.
But you move on from that quickly. So you don't dwell on the socks.
Yeah, of course. But anyway, check out this one now. So in retrospect, would I have said something? I think I probably would. I was vexed, so I just left anyway. But I think, given the opportunity, I think I would speak to that person. I wouldn't just completely ignore it, because I think there's also an Islamic responsibility as a well-wishing Muslim brother to another. All I would do, I would caveat it. Again, I would do positive, then constructive, then positive. Positive, Assalamu alaikum, brother. Where are you from? It's nice to see you. MashaAllah, first time I've seen you here at Jummah. I would like to get a bit of information. I would say, what brings you here? He goes, literally, I just finished work. I just got left outside. I quickly jumped in. I was afraid of Jummah. All right, bro. Then I wouldn't give the nasiha. I would just say, mashallah, it's really good you've come. Alhamdulillah, next time. And I would throw it like this. Why don't you come a few minutes early, mashallah? You can make wudu here next time. And because there's no way that he wore them stinking socks. So he must have had wudu. So I would actually try to throw it in that way, that next time, maybe, if you come early, mashallah, we have facilities.
Which is related to this slightly, is that two things.
I was just going to finish the point in that sense that I was going to say that that's how I would advise the person. I would try and look for a bit, so bro, where have you come from? If he said...
And you're a psychologist, you can...
a counsellor rather, psychology, mashallah, they're way above
my pay grade, right, if you get me.
Yeah. So what happened, if he gave this scenario, that number one, that look, I was rushing, because I've had those ones, bro. I was working like here now, LSG, you get me? Yeah. And we literally would get let out 1:15. We'd run to the car, drive to the masjid. We'd make sure we had wudu before. Now, alhamdulillah, I was always cautious of hygiene. Maybe, possibly, if I had ever offended somebody, at least I can say, look, bro, honestly, it's door to door. We're literally getting off a break, running to the car, driving, running to the masjid, praying salah, going back, and we have to miss our lunch break because we cannot afford to miss Jummah. So we go hungry the whole day. Right? So, okay, there's a bit of empathy there, bro, I get it. But if now scenario number 2, my man goes, I came here, 1:15, day off work, and then you're thinking like that.
It's only the mosque, innit?
Bro. Then I would say, brother, if you don't, I want to give you a piece of advice, mashallah, being that you've got some time on your hands. I pray salah behind you, and if as a brother, for the sake of Allah, and I mean well for you, and I would come and I would say it in the most polite way. If my man still got offended, then that's your problem. But I would do it in the most humble. If I would not be offensive, I would not talk down to, I'd not talk hard, and it's coming from a place of real empathy, bro. For your sake, for the sake of Allah, for the sake of the worship, for the sake of the masjid. If you're going to get triggered by that, by my method of doing that, then that's purely your problem. And then I would say, brother, I don't mean to offend you but this is coming from the side, and no one's around, but this is coming for the sake of Allah. End off on a positive again. Come next time, inshallah. May Allah reward you. Keep on coming to the masjid. I'm your brother. If you need anything, then positive, constructive, positive.
If you see something that I'm doing wrong or correct, I would want you to correct me.
And that's the hadith, bro. Al-mu'min mir'atul mu'min. Or I think it's, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it's like a mirror of another. A mirror, when you look into it, you notice your own blemishes. That's what it should be. If I'm, subhanallah, this is why any student of mine can challenge and they can say this. Anyone I've taught in the past, I don't want minions around me that just nod their head and call me Hazrat. That angers me, because when I do something wrong, you're not going to correct me. Yeah. I want to be corrected. I want someone, if I'm making a mistake, to say, look, do you think that's really the case?
That's real friendship. That's real care.
Wallah, you're doing me a favor. Yeah. I don't want Jamjit and lullus around me. I want people that genuinely, they want my better for my akhirah. If I'm slipping up, if I'm making an error, if I'm doing something wrong, I'm moving shady, bro, you need to tell me.
Hamza.
No, he does, alhamdulillah. He does what all these guys do. All these guys do. But that's the whole point. I wouldn't have people around me that are not honest. But it's just done in a nice way. It's not like they're doing it in a majlis. Just the other day, I share with them as well when I'm having a negative thought. I don't just bottle things up. And I was like, I've got this negative thought about something that happened about somebody. But I just want to clarify, because it's not a healthy thought.
A lot of those in Crawley, but yeah.
But it's okay, alhamdulillah. Then after talking about it, he mentions that, and I thought, do you know what? I've mentioned a couple of negative, but he did do something good, and I overlooked that because my emotion of the negative overlooked the positive. Oh, okay. But now he mentioned the positive. I was like, no, hold on a sec. Credit given where it's due, man. Yeah. I analyze, and I understand why I got triggered by it, by the negative, and it was so heavy that and it wasn't the geezer did it deliberately. Without going into details, I don't want to bore people as well. You get me? Yeah, I know. People are like, what's the story?
Yeah, now your next comment.
Yeah, cliffhanger. So it's there was something that the person did, and that triggered me of something in my past. So I was looking at that one incident but overlooking the good. So we just got to be more aware. Now I know why I did that, because I think he did something that triggered me, and the trigger was because that reminded me of something that someone did to me in the past. So I've over-analysed the situation and I've given it too much importance. Anyway, going back to that point, I mean,
just wanted to share.
I don't know how long we've got left here, but finish your thing. Do your thing.
This could be. So when I went to, we went on a Dawah mission to Cyprus once, me and as a brother, and we went to Lefkozia, which is Nicosia's Turkish side, right? Yeah. And there they had this mosque where we do an exhibition. We did a Jesus exhibition. It's for non-Muslims. A lot of tourists come there. So what they did is really clever, which is the imams. It's a hot country. The summer, July. So for women all their short skirts, and they put abayas and thobs at the door. So part of the entry to the mosque is you have to wear a thob and abaya. So we got all these non-Muslims wearing abaya, and there's an option for the headscarf as well. So they came in, and not only that, I asked the imam, because for non-Muslims, this is for Muslims as well, because when they come, they would dress all kind of things. It's a hot country. So they get it washed every day. They got a whole line of it. And I remember my brother goes, "You should have it in our mosque. We should have like just like your mosque, you have the topi basket. Why not a thobe like hangers
and made out of straw as well? There's straw doppies and plastic green doppies.
Mosques maybe they could provide. Some brother can have an idea before you enter. One brother actually said fresh socks available. Thobe available for those brothers who wear their low-hanging tracksuits or something. Maybe mosque could provide that, because for those people in a rush and that kind of thing.
It's an idea. I like the idea. What I did like was, one thing which I have started noticing a bit more on the whole issue of hygiene. You go into a lot of masajid and they have individual towels per use.
Yeah, and that's especially in West Indian masjid.
I've seen it in a lot of
one basket for that and one clean ones. Yes.
Yeah, so you literally you use it and then you just duck it, you throw it, and then they wash. Otherwise, but one thing, bro, I've never understood. It always says, "Don't use these to dry your feet."
Yeah.
What is that? If it's going in the bloody washing machine and it's going to get washed, what's wrong with drying the feet? I don't do it out of respect, but it's always run my mind like, bro, I'm wiping water. I'm not putting it between my toes and taking away, God forbid, athlete's foot or you get me? It's like, it's just a bit of water.
I don't know, maybe it's a psychology. Like if I knew that this was used on someone's feet, even they washed, I would say, that's me.
Okay.
Maybe.
Well, if it was an istinja towel, next man's bunda's been on it, then I'd be like, nah, I'm not feeling that towel. But this is just a bit. I don't know. Wallahu alam. Out of respect, I've never done it. But it's something I've never got and I've never understood. It's like because it's water, but now your take on it.
Mosque could, if they can, they should provide a bit more facilities like this for the.
I agree.
Especially those in a rush.
I think so. That would be a nice gesture.
Socks.
It could be. It could be a. Well, the other thing is, bro, was they just take them off and just wash your feet. I mean, there you go. They provide all the cleanliness facilities. And Mashallah, Langley Green Masjid, they've also got one of those. They've got a foot dryer.
Oh, excellent.
I don't know if you've seen it here. Obviously, I prayed on the Sri Lanka mosque.
I've done wudu, of course, but I've not done wudu there for a long time.
So you push and boom, mashallah, you dry your feet. So that's also another thing. But I don't know, man. Hamza, what are you saying on the time, man? This has gone on a bit long. Hour. Cool.
We covered two questions.
Well, they were both kind of related because the first...
We can.
And subhanAllah...
We played two different clips out of it.
It was that someone mentioned that, you should not give da'wah if you're fat, and someone mentioned it's not your fault if you're fat. And lastly, how would you tell someone who smelled bad? So this is all part, because it was related to the thing. It's about telling people the truth and so on. But I think, bro, overall, alhamdulillah, look, I'm not going to sit here defensively. I'm on a journey. You're on a journey.
Yes.
And anyone who seems to think that you can't give da'wah until a state of perfection, what is that perfection? Because that's the same objection that someone, ali'adu billah, could have said about the Prophet ﷺ, that if your own family members have not, Abu Lahab, so what gives you the audacity to give da'wah if Abu Lahab's not accepting Islam? So we can throw this objection any way around. This is a typical Pakistani one, you hear this, bro, and it's not just limited to Pakistanis, but what I've heard from people from the country. No, there's the other one. Where is that, look at his own family, he shouldn't be telling look at his own thing. That just because someone in your family is doing something shady.
Something kato, Billy kato, something Hazaros. Do you know that one? I think I butchered it.
No, there was that.
Not Hajj pe chale.
Yeah, they say that. They say Billy so chue kako Hajj ko chale.
Yeah.
It's basically that after you've done all this sin, now you want to turn to Allah. Well, thank God we're dealing with Allah because He's merciful and He doesn't have a requirement of perfection. He just wants effort. So you have no right to judge. And alhamdulillah, I'm so glad on the day of Qiyamah, it's Allah who's going to take hisab from us. Wallahi, because if it was down to human beings, bro, these men don't forget. So I'm so glad it's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because He's going to have mercy on us where mercy is due, but He will also take hisab when hisab needs to be due. So, but on that thing, I don't get offended at all. I never got offended. I just only say to people is that, not me, I'm quite not immune to it. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I'm immune to people being horrible or anything. But I've accepted it's my fault. So I'm not going to be triggered and say, oh no, don't say that about me, it's mean. No, bro. When that person trying to help me, oh no, don't blame him. Maybe, it's not his fault. No, it's purely my fault. I take full responsibility. No one forced me to eat that food. I did it. I can moan, not that I've ever said this, but somebody could moan, I wasn't feeling happy, I was feeling sad, food was my comfort. But you still ate it. So you did it. So I don't get offended. All I would say to the Muslim brothers and sisters, when we're advising people, precisely the examples I gave, give nasiha in a nice way, where it's got to come from the heart. And I just mentioned that feedback sandwich. Start off with something positive, give them something constructive, end with something positive. It's more palatable. If you go there and say, your feet stink, don't come to the mosque. Well, firstly, you have no right in saying who can and can't come anyway. And there's a way on how to talk to people. Try and put yourself in those shoes. If I have this problem, like, bro, I love it, I've got to finish off on this. Same in gym which you're in. Obviously I like to keep myself to myself, but there was this one Muslim sister now. She would come caked up in makeup every day, hijab, bright red lipstick. It doesn't. You don't need to become that tarted up to the gym. I say the masjid to the gym. And the worst thing was, she aliyadu billah would not use any sort of spray or anything. Bruv, Allah the customer, when you'd walk upstairs, that place would be stinking.
Oh my.
And you know what it was? Because I had a couple of people talking about it and laughing. Oh, it's that lady over there. Like, she's stinking. And I went past the office, and they were saying, this woman stinks. What do we do? And I felt, wallahi, ghira kicking. I was like going back upstairs. And I said to her, sister, wallahi, you don't know me. But I want to say something to you. But you know what stopped me, bro? Is because someone might see me and they said, Molvi,
in the gym.
Fruity Molvi. So I thought, bro, lesser of two evils here. Her izzah or my izzah. Ban her izzah, bro. Not offense here, but I'm going to save myself. Because next man don't know. I'm going to talk to her. They're going to just say, and I'm going to be very humble and polite. And they might see, like, God forbid, you know what's going to happen? Molvi was chatting someone up. He was trying to chirp some woman in the gym. Like, our Molvi moves wet. So I thought, forget it. Unfortunately, bro, stay with your crusty armpits and you're thinking, you get me? And I'm just going to keep myself to myself. But as that one day when they were saying this, actually one of the managers said, I'm going to just go and tell her. Interestingly, I never saw her after that. You get me? So I'm assuming, could be wrong, because it's never like I chased up the info.
She's the gym now.
But I think it's like, bro, she got told, like, you get me? And then that was an embarrassment. So it's sensitive. So when you approach people, it's got to come from a place of sincerity. And it's good to get feedback from people. I ask people, like, bro, like,
That is crazy. Like, the whole,
how do I look alright?
That must be some smell because it's a huge hole. What's that?
I swear, bro. That is precisely the reaction.
That's a
bro, Allah the customer. It was that bad,
Was you spray on something?
I don't know. But it was just strong BO. And it was exacerbated. Like, it smelled like there was masala in there as well. It was like literally some mad concoction, of literally masala and BO and haldi, turmeric, all mixed in one. But you know what made it worse? She wore a hijab. She had cake. If you can spend 25... I don't know how many minutes she's spending on her makeup.
You've done it outwardly.
I don't know. But if you've got bright... Well, you don't need to be busting lipstick in the bloody gym.
Yeah.
And if you're going to take that much effort doing your red lips, can you just do 2 sprays of a bloody antiperspirant, please? Yeah. So it's like, how do you approach these people? I even said to my missus as well, like, bro, this is what I saw, you get me? But anyway, I never saw her after that anyway. But it's again a point that simple procedures solve simple issues. Yes. You know, and then you don't get yourself violated, you get me? So I think there's a way how to be approached. If you speak to people nicely, calmly, again, for the record, I'm not looking for any sympathy at all, because I've accepted it. I've accepted it, and that is purely my fault, because the moment we become victims and blame other people, it's my wife's fault for cooking nice food. No, you're just fat and you eat food. Simple. Yes. Oh no, I'm big bone. There's big bone and there's bloody dinosaur bone. And I've had one of those proper weight checks, right, where they check your BMI, fat percentage, muscle percentage, bone, everything's normal. And then I went to a doctor and I thought maybe it's I've got an underactive thyroid. So I do all these things, rule out all the medical stuff. He goes, no, your thyroid's fine. Nope. Yeah. And then it was one sheikh, he actually came for a bayan and he mentioned something and I thought, bro, that word speaks to me. And you know what he said? He said, I went to the doctor. And I said to him, doctor, I think diabetes runs in my family. He goes, son, it's not the issue of diabetes runs in your family. Nobody runs in your family. And when he said that, it hit me. I was like, bro, that's the answer to my question. I need to get up, fix up, exercise, watch my food. And inshallah, happy days will come in the near future. So, Jalla, jazakallah for that, bro. I mean, these are the social issues, the questions. I said to people, I'll respond, we'll talk more. Yeah. But keep the comments going. Yes. Because it's then people can learn from this and we can obviously educate people. This is more like social issues. There's loads more. I've got a list of things that people have said. Yeah. I mean, to give you an example, let me ask you that. Someone asked me a question. They said, is it okay to marry someone who's already got children? Now, that's a discussion. Now, obviously, how do they have kids and so on? That's a whole, because there's a touchy thing there. And then, for example, now someone does not want his wife to have had any previous experiences. You get me? How does then she go about telling her future husband that without disclosing her sins? Yeah. So there's these sort of things I want to share with you. Yeah. So we'll maybe, inshallah, if we can get the other boys on it as well, Salman, we'll do another one soon, man. Talk about these sort of these social issues. Yes. And if they can do it, all in good. If not, then we'll link up soon again, man. What are you saying?
Inshallah. Yeah. I'm up for it, bro.
All right, good. I hope it ain't mean to. But this is why I like this, because this is how I normally talk.
Yeah. That's how we do.
I'm listening.
We don't even see the camera there. We're just talking, discussing.
Podcast, I'm purely listening. Yeah. But when it comes to an individual clip, I'm actually doing a bayan and people are taking clips out. I find it difficult, ask Hamza, to actually stare into a camera and do a clip. Because it's like, I know the camera's looking at me. It's like, it doesn't come naturally. Yeah. What now is 100% natural conversation. Alhamdulillah. This is you won't get more raw.
All those shaykhology podcasts, they were fake.
Yeah? No, it's a different format. It's when you're listening, you see, it's a different thing, because it's like I go into. If you want to know exactly what it's like to sit in a therapy room with me, watch my podcasts. Oh, okay. That's the best way I can describe it, because I'm sitting there, I'm listening, and I'm watching the body language, and I'm like, okay, they mentioned this, I'm going to ask this, and so that's more like a natural therapy session. What we're talking about this is slightly different. This is more talking social issues. You could say this would be more like
social therapy.
You know me as a person. This is how we talk anyway. How I talk. But I've not had this opportunity. People have never really seen this side. What they see is me giving a lecture or a podcast, and that's why it's quite different. Yes. Podcast is you're listening. You're not supposed to be talking. You're supposed to be listening. This is a conversation, and it's more about stuff which you've got a view on, I've got a view on. Let's discuss these views.
Yeah. And maybe we disagree, and that's good as well.
100%. 100%. I agree with you.
Okay.
I agree that we disagree, but also we can agree that we can also agree on this occasion. Alhamdulillah. But let's finish here, bro, inshallah. Let's link up soon. Hopefully not too later than ever. And look, I'm going to just say this to anyone watching you. This is the real unfiltered version of myself, brother Nadeem. But if there's any questions you got, like, for example, you want to ask, like someone mentioned that comment about me. If there's a question you got, a social issue, opinions that you think that you'd like our sort of input on, fire away, inshallah. And then, as you know, look, a lot of Islamic stuff came out anyway, innit? Of course. Like we're substantiating our stances 100%. With hadith and Quran and so on. That will come out naturally. So until next time, inshallah, take care of yourselves. Look forward to seeing and also hearing more, bi'idhnillah. Take care. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.